Welcome back. You're listening to Rhythm FM coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. I'm your friend Vernon Darby, and my very special guest on Be My Guest is Mr. Evan Thompson, the Director of the Meteorological Services right here in Jamaica. Mr. Thompson, you're back with us, right?
Yes, I'm here.
No, I must tell you, I'm sure many Jamaicans do not realize or know that you are functioning at the international level. Very briefly, tell us your involvement with these international organizations and the posts, some of the posts that you currently...
Sure. Well, as you know, the World Meteorological, the Met Service, the Jamaica Meteorological Service, is a member. Well, Jamaica is the member and represented by the Met Service in the World Meteorological Organization. This is an organization of the United Nations, one of the agencies under the UN umbrella, and this organization is responsible for coordinating any affairs related to weather, climate, and water across the world and the various countries that are part of the UN. They coordinate. So I was recently, a couple of years ago, elected as the president of the Regional Association for WMO, which is representing North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. So I'm the president for this region. There are 6 regions across the world, and our region is represented by me as president, and then I would have a management group that works along with me.
And I think that many Jamaicans are probably learning about that for the first time. No.
Okay. Well, I've occupied the post formally since 2019. It has been, 2021 officially.
Right.
I started acting in 2019, but I was elected officially in 2021.
Right. Now, the weather now. Some of we don't understand it. And what is going on? This year is drought and all kind of problems. Yeah. And then we talk about climate change. What the hell is this climate change? And these weather people to them big words and all them something.
Yeah.
What is all this climate change all about? And
well, we were always taught in school that, weather is how that's the variable thing, when it rains today, but tomorrow it's sunny. So it's the weather changes frequently, while the climate is really a kind of synthesis of weather conditions over a period of time. So then we think about the Jamaican climate being a sunny climate. And,
the difference between climate and the weather.
And weather, that's right, because the climate now is a long-term phenomenon.
Right.
That we refer to our climate in a long-term way. But then what we realized a number of decades ago is that the climate is also changing. It's no longer staying one way, and that is mainly because of changes in the mix of gases in the atmosphere, and then that cause a kind of what they call a greenhouse effect, where the whole atmosphere is warming much more than with normal.
What's the greenhouse effect? And what do you mean greenhouse effect?
Yes. That is just like, when you're growing plants, in certain weather conditions, it is not able to survive very well. So you have to keep it in a greenhouse where you can control the kind of atmosphere within that area. So you would give it enough moisture in the greenhouse and it would get the amount of heating. Usually in the greenhouse it is a lot warmer because, in colder climates, they would have these greenhouses that will keep the plants warm while they are able to grow them. So what is happening is the whole earth is warming up just like.
So what causes it? How the world does warm up like that? How it does warm up like that?
It is really because of the mix of gases, because of industrialization. A lot more what we call these gases are in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide, methane, and so because of industrial action.
So you mean we call these things development, but these development are creating other challenges. So when they talk about take care of the environment, we think they must just talk for scientists. No, I see what.
Exactly, because what happens is the atmosphere, we really need oxygen to survive.
Right.
The plants actually give off that oxygen and they kind of get rid of some of the carbon dioxide that is not good for us, that we exhale. So, the balance between the plants and the animals, that is where the balance comes in. But what we've been doing is reducing the amount of greenery, and at the same time we're pumping a lot more of those gases into the atmosphere, and so there is a lot more carbon dioxide than oxygen, and then it's not good for our life, but also it causes the heating up of the atmosphere.
I see. So basically, what you're saying now, you see, many of us think that does some scientific business and it doesn't really affect us. But when when we had a joke, like no, we see the same time. So no, we understand. So hold on now.
Right.
So if you say it's heating up, no.
Yes.
Because I don't go to jog feel like but we know it's at the top and the bottom of everything. You have a whole palm ice up there, right?
Well, okay, yes.
No, I don't know. Whoever is this God, this God look like he had in the plan out things. He put some ice at top, ice at bottom, and then he have water. So come like we build up storage out there for water for supply. I see.
Yeah, it's a kind of mix of the
mix.
There's a balance. Yes, everything has to be balanced. So you talk about high pressures, but you have low pressures in the atmosphere. You have ice in some areas in the temperate or the polar regions, but then when you come into the tropics near to the equator now, you have a lot more warming. So the air circulates around the earth and sustains us because of a lot of these balances that are taking place in the atmosphere. So it is important to maintain the balance. But what we've been doing with the cutting down of trees and pumping these other gases into the atmosphere, we're causing an imbalance. And so there are some changes that are taking place that are almost irreversible. They're changing in a way that everything, life has to change now in order to adapt to some of what we have done. So it's really caused by our man-made, our own interaction, humans' interaction with the atmosphere, and it's causing a negative effect. So we have to try to see how we can get back that balance so that we can sustain life for a longer period.
I hear argument about the icebergs and so here they melting and all them something there. And I say, what that have to do with us?
Yes, and it does impact us significantly.
Yes.
You have ice caps on some of those in those polar areas. Some of those mountains covered with ice.
Yes.
And you have ice in the seas and that kind of thing. But when the whole atmosphere is warming up, it melts a lot of that ice, so you get more water in the oceans, and of course the ocean levels, the sea levels have to rise because there is more water compared to what was there before. So the water level rises because more water is there, and then that has other impacts for us in the Caribbean, of course, where we are small islands now. It has a negative impact because the rising waters mean we're losing some of our land.
Oh, you mean like what about by a place with a fortress there?
That's right, Hotel Show. We see some.
But hold up, how come when people talk about this, it's all like something up in the sky? But look like it's right here on the ground with us.
Right here. All of it is coming down to the ground.
You talk about the trees. Hey, Evan, there's some people, they don't like trees. They chop it down in the street. They just chop it down.
Exactly. But we need them. We need them for life. And so it's important that we support this whole call to increase the number of trees.
Yes.
We're building highways. We're building a lot of high-rise buildings and paving a lot of areas. And a lot of the developments that are taking place are really robbing us of a lot of the green spaces that we usually have. So we have to deliberately put back some of these green.
But while we have the buildings, I hear about buildings in other countries where they have plants and so on all over the buildings and top of the buildings. So why we can't have that here?
Well, there's no reason why we can't. We can actually have some of that happening. I know that in some areas they do have that. They have already started to do some of that with some of the buildings, but it's not the standard. Maybe it should become the standard where we have plants growing on top of buildings and that kind of thing, making sure that the parking lots are not just asphalt, but we also have trees. We need them. We definitely need them for life to be continued.
But somebody going to say, I heard somebody say about the trees help to keep us cool. And I hear the argument, we don't need the trees to keep us cool. We have air conditioning units.
No, the trees are important for that. They keep us cool, and they also provide us with the oxygen that we need. It also provides the moisture into the atmosphere. That is how the clouds form, because they get the moisture coming up from
the trees.
What is under the ground comes up through the roots of the tree, and then they come back out. The water vapor comes back out through the leaves, so it provides the kind of vapor that we need for clouds to develop. So you get less cloud development, less rainfall, and that's why we have more dry periods and more drought.
But here the drought, Evan.
Less trees.
The only time we bother, the only time we cost away, we have the drought and we can't get the water.
Yes.
So you are telling me we should be making up noise when they're cutting all the trees, all the highways. I've always asked myself, where we can't have trees, or especially fruit trees planted along the highway.
And I think they are going to be doing a lot more of that. I heard an announcement recently that is the plan, that along the highways we're going to be having a lot more trees. So I think the government is seeing the necessity to do that, and so we're moving in that direction. Hopefully, it will be a lot that everybody will get on board and contribute to that, and not rob us. People sometimes take it as an opportunity to do other things, and still they remove the trees as soon as you put them down.
It is just amazing. But it means, therefore, you need to talk to us more, and I'm willing to support any positive things you do. You probably need to speak more, because it's clear to me that you understand the importance. How many of us do? Don't forget, when we go to school, we're not even teaching civics again and these things. We already know we must 2 + 2 = 4. And we can write English language. Without learning these things, which would help us to protect the earth. You probably are lucky you did the sciences and so on. But the rest of us, without learning the things that ought to help us to take care of Mother Earth. Or by the way, we have a theory, because I love this God talk to me, because we know how him can make this earth, and he make my body and make all earth. So boy, really not easy at all.
Brilliant.
It's just amazing.
Brilliant.
And then some of we are trying to study it and we still don't know it fully. We'll never ever know it fully. But in the industrialized countries I hear, especially I hear people talk about coal, and I understand that we use coal for energy. That helps in the pollution. I also understand that even the airplanes help to damage. What do they call that layer? What do they call the layer again? What is it now? Ozone, no?
The ozone, the ozone layer.
Yes, what that has to do with, because I hear persons talking about that, the ozone layer, and that it's
because of there is always a kind of protective layer at the top of the atmosphere that reduces the amount of direct the kind of rays from the sun that is destructive to us. It would reduce those kind of rays from reaching us. And so with the kind of gases that are now in the atmosphere because of industrialization, we're really boring holes in that ozone layer, causing it to be weaker. And so more of those sun rays that are destructive are coming through. And, that is also damaging to us in the atmosphere. So,
and also can damage your skin, because I hear skin cancer.
All of this will repair in time. It will take a long time, but there is repair that is possible if we reduce that kind of release of gases into the atmosphere.
Right.
So that's why they are encouraging renewable energies, using solar technology and wind energy and hydroelectric.
They call it renewable energy. I always wonder why they call it renewable energy.
Because we're not really using up the fuels, the gases, the gas, the oils. We're not really using those oils as much, and those are what are the problem, what we call the fossil fuels. We're not using those, but we're using natural fuel, which is the heat that will generate its own electricity.
I don't know if you can answer this. This is $1 million question. If we continue at the rate that we are going, then after a while, I'm sure the fossil fuel will disappear. What will happen after that?
Yeah, when they will eventually. You mean we will deplete even what is in the earth?
Yes.
Well, in the long term, yes, that's what will happen. But will we be around long enough to see that? Because as we burn those fuels, that's when the gases are released, and it's destructive.
I'm going to give you my theory now.
Yes.
And it's called the a modern theory of the world. The world was here to last forever and ever. Amen. But man's intention is to end it soon, because they hear about judgment, so they wonder if they might go to hell or heaven. But in the meantime, they are destroying the earth, and they are living in hell and hoping to go to heaven. I believe that we are going to destroy... we can't destroy the earth. We are going to destroy ourselves by destroying whatever we have on this earth. Therefore, mankind will not last for long. But the earth cannot be destroyed. Matter cannot be destroyed. So after we have destroyed ourselves, the earth will be around for another probably 40 million, billion, trillion years, and life form will come again when it is not able to support the life form. But it seems to me, while it's able to support it for a very long time, we want to bring it to an end earlier. That is.
Yeah.
It's so like I need to see the psychiatrist.
I mean, what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of it might appear to be far-fetched, but I mean, the truth is we're ruining ourselves.
Yes, we are.
And we really have to try to see what we can do.
And by the way, did you know that some people just hate trees and they just chop them and they don't like them? They don't like, just chop them down, trees. And especially if they say the body picking up a fruit off a tree. I mean, and I was in the country, people were proud, Oh, no, pick, no, hunger, go pick 2 mango. But nowadays, when they say a child or anybody go up and pick a fruit, it's a wickedness and evil away, And begs and they chop down the tree, nobody pick nothing off of the tree.
Right, yeah.
We are paying dearly for it. Now, we have about 5 minutes left, and it's all time go fast. And by the way, you know what you're doing? You're making this weather thing and this climate thing, you bring it down so we can understand. Because so my head ticking.
About that.
And if me understand, you must understand.
Yes. No. And apart from understanding it, we must realize that it means that we have to do certain things to kind of reverse the trend.
But if the people on the ground don't understand, not going to get their support in helping to create a better world.
Yeah.
But another thing is storm. I always wonder, but I know it's this God thing. How is it that storm know when to come and why storm come about? Why? What is the storm and hurricane thing?
Really, and the meteorology is really the study of the atmosphere. A lot of things happen in the atmosphere, and there are so many. We watch, you talk about the humidity, you talk about pressures.
And the humidity is the amount of, help me there. I use some big terms, careful. The humidity has the water.
It speaks about the moisture.
The moisture in the air.
The atmosphere. But then you also have temperatures that we have to be monitoring, whether it's high temperatures or low temperatures, whether it's hot or it's cold.
Right.
Of course, we look at whether it's high pressure or low pressure, which is really the weight of the atmosphere. But all of these things have to have balance. Some parts of the globe are warm, some are cold. Some places have high pressure, some have low pressure, and those shift around the earth. And where there is high pressure and low pressure, you will have wind. So you have the wind moves from high to low pressure all the time.
So that is why you are able to predict where it might go.
Yes, we can do. We have to watch the atmosphere and see how things are changing, and that is how we predict the weather.
And I gather that you have instruments all over the place that checking for temperature and pressure, right? Am I correct?
That's right. All of them are interacting. All the elements interact.
Yes.
What we experience in terms of weather, and we have to have various ways to sense what is happening in the atmosphere, whether we're using thermometers or barometers or sending up weather balloons with instruments attached to them to see what is happening in the upper atmosphere.
Hold on, that weather balloon now. A long time I don't say it, but it just, I know you said, we set up one out at the airport there. You set it up other places are basically at the airports.
Yes, we release our weather balloon every day, twice a day.
Really?
Yes, twice every day.
Well, one of these days, just say what you must do. I'm telling you, these things will bring your work and what you do to the people. Please arrange, and don't tell me you don't have no money. Get somebody with a drone. Although there might be a problem with flying drones near to the airport. But see if you can get permission. It'd be so nice. You don't necessarily have a drone to film it going up.
What is happening?
So people can understand what you do. For example, you set up weather balloon. What the hell that weather balloon do? Me don't know what it does.
Okay, right. Well, the balloon is only a way to get the instrument up into the atmosphere because we fill the balloon with a gas that is lighter than air. So
is that helium?
So it will allow it. We actually use hydrogen.
Hydrogen, oh yes.
Right. Helium could be used as well.
But explosive.
More expensive. Yes.
Expensive. Okay.
So it takes the balloon up in the atmosphere, but attached to the balloon is the instrument that is really reading all these various parameters. It reads temperature, it reads pressure, it reads humidity. All these things are read while it ascends in the atmosphere. So
how far it goes up?
It goes well high up, like 50,000 feet in the atmosphere.
How will it that?
And then it would just fall somewhere.
So when it falls, so nobody find it?
Yeah, sometimes people will find it. Most times it will probably fall over the sea because the island is small. But there have been times when people have found it where it falls over the land.
Should I give it back to you? Do you have any use after that or the moment?
We don't really have use for it. So you can just keep it as a souvenir if you happen to get one of those. Yes.
I'd love to if any of my listeners actually found it. They probably don't even know what it is.
Right, probably they wouldn't. A couple of times people have called us to say they see this thing and they wonder if it has anything to do with it.
They think that China probably sent a balloon over Jamaica.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably what they think.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But see if you can do that, because we put our kind of rubbish on YouTube and these things on social media.
Yeah.
It would be nice to
really
get these things so people
educate.
can learn and understand. And by the way, you never can tell, that might motivate a youngster to get into your field, because
That's
I'm
true.
almost sure many youngsters out there, they're not even aware of the field nor aware of the importance or the role that they can play in helping mankind.
Yes, you're right about that. So we will definitely have to find a way to do that. In fact, this week that you're speaking to me is we're celebrating World Meteorological Day.
Well, guess what?
We actually celebrate that on Thursday.
Well, guess what? When we come back, you better tell us all about that. So we're going to go for the break right now, because I want to hear about that. Because when I ask you to come on this program, look at me, it's a real buck up, Evan. You know how many times I call persons to come on this program, when I check it out, something is coming up. When I call you, I didn't know that this week.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
All right. So I'll tell you what, we're going to go for the break right now. So you're listening to Rhythm FM, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. And we're talking with Evan Thompson. All right. So stay with us. I hope you learned quite a bit. And if you learned quite a bit on... it's because I know I'm trying my best, so it's not boring, right, Evan? Because this is not exciting radio, but there's a lot you can learn.
Lot to learn.